I recently built the same apartment in The Sims and in Paralives, and I also gave myself only 1,000 as a budget for each room. So I got this cute and functional but also pretty sparsely decorated apartment, and I thought I would give myself a budget of 10,000 paradigms to make it cozier and actually get like some clutter and more decorations. Also, I thought that it would be nice if I could add a couple more activities. But the first thing that I wanted to do was to start working on the kitchen. It was a lot more successful in Paralives than in The Sims, because in The Sims I could only afford 2 cabinets. And it was the same for this one, but since you can scale them in Paralives, this one looks like a much more full kitchen. I have actually already decorated the one in The Sims, and you should be able to find that on my channel. I will also have that link down in the description, as well as the gallery link and all of that other information, and that first video that I made as well. Actually, that video I made as a celebration because I got to 1,000 subscribers in the channel, and I am so very happy and grateful for that. So thank you if you have supported my channel. Also, if you're new here, I hope that you stick around, and I am very happy that you have found us. I thought that it would be nice to get a couple more appliances in here, as well as a picture and, you know, just a range hood and some upper cabinets, which I think made the kitchen look less empty. I would have liked to add another window, but since the one in The Sims didn't have that, I wasn't like sure that it was something that would be fair in this space. But taking an idea from The Sims, I added like a small sideboard in the dining room. I also thought that it would be nice to have a mirror above it. And I think that this one has a really cool frame, so that also helped. And I got a picture above that, above the dining room table. I was also able to get a couple more decorations, and also I made the entryway a bit more interesting, and I got a different wood texture for the table, which I think made it look a bit more interesting, possibly even fancier. And I don't remember if I do it now or at the very end of the video, but I got like a runner, like a table runner, and I felt that made it look a lot more complete. It was very hard for me to use up all of the budget in this one because some of the clutter in this game is really cheap. So I could have gotten like a bunch of tiny items, like especially for the kitchen, but I just didn't really feel like doing that. I would have preferred to add like another appliance. But yeah, money is kind of strange in this game. But I decided to make the entryway a lot more like formal. I got a coat rack and this table so that it would be possible to place stuff like keys, maybe some change. Then in the living room, I was kind of going for like a boho look, and so I got this really cool shelf. I moved everything that I had on the TV stand to that one, and I had to get some more clutter so that I could fill it up. I got this lamp, which I really like. And the fact that you can size everything down freely gives you like so many possibilities. Like you can get any sort of clutter item anywhere, because you're not limited by that. And then I got, instead of a TV stand, I thought that just a shelf would be cool. And I got these, I don't know what to call them, like these wooden pieces that are like for architectural detail for the outside. I think that they look really cool here. It makes the shelf look less, it looks a lot more intentional. And I got a couple of poofs underneath that. I thought about using the same poof, but then I realized that I had this other one that has an interesting texture. So I was glad that I thought of adding that one as well. And then I just kept cluttering this shelf. I really like that combi, the van from Outbound. I think I added it into a second location because I really like the clutter in this game. But at the same time, some spaces don't have enough decorations, like office supplies or that kind of thing that you could put on a desk is kind of limited still in the game. I do hope we get more of that. Things like these cushions, for example, those are really cool, and the fact that they are completely customizable, it just makes me so happy. I think that this couch looks so cute, and I really liked that I was able to get a more expensive couch. The same goes for the desk. I really like having a lot of storage in my builds, so this one has some drawers, which I liked. and I wanted to have more activities, so I got some music stuff, and I realized that I still had a lot of money, so I got 2 bookshelves on this wall, and one of them I actually kept blank, so I had to pay for all of the clutter that I added into it. And I got this cool wall art piece, which I had tried to use in this build originally, but I then realized that just getting a picture was a lot less expensive, so I was glad that I was able to add it in. By the easel, I just added some canvases. I added one of the wall art pieces that is actually a canvas without a frame, so I think that makes it look a lot more interesting, and since I still had so much money, I decided to get the more expensive easel, which is quite a lot bigger. Then in the bedroom, I decided to get a more interesting sort of clothes rack. So in the end, I have this custom closet. I didn't want to have the tops repeat, so I didn't make this as wide as it could have been. And I added some like folded clothes and a hat, as well as some shoes. And I believe I also got like band-aids and hot water bottle, as well as some slippers. And I thought that it would be cool to get a kitchen cabinet and make it match the woods from these, which I think was kind of cool, this like half open wardrobe. And then I found these rain boots, as well as a couple of suitcases, and I added a couple more like containers and the paper shopping bag that I had got originally. And I think that this looks sort of realistic. I also got like a backpack, and I really wanted to change those bedside tables to these ones that look a lot more interesting. And I wanted to have some more pink in this space, but I didn't choose to change the bed at all. So I just got pink curtains, and I got a different plant. I also made this dresser a little smaller, which made it easier to clutter, and I added another plant and bathroom clutter. That's another thing that I really wish we had more of, like makeup and that kind of thing that you could have on a vanity or in a bedroom. But for the moment, I mean, we do have a lot of kitchen clutter. So I am hoping that we will have like similar amounts of clutter for different kinds of rooms. Now we are decorating those bookshelves, and it would have been a lot cheaper to get the same like pre-cluttered bookshelf. But since I still had a lot of money to burn, I thought that it was cool to do this, because that way we could have different books, which was actually kind of interesting, because sometimes I would get like a group of books and realize that the other bookshelf already had those same ones. But I added that same combi. I am someone who collects Volkswagen Beetles, like die-cast models of Volkswagen Beetles, like the retro ones. I just love that car so much. I think it's so cute. So I added like another van, and I don't think that's unrealistic. But yeah, I also added a couple of plants and an entryway mat. I chose the one that you can write stuff on, so it just says hello. And I got a light switch, as well as a smoke detector and some other details like that. Then I went back into the bedroom and added a radio, like an antique radio. I do not know if that one would just be like for decoration or if it would actually work, as well as some more like bedside clutter. And in the bathroom, I really want to have a bath mat. That was very important for me. I also got a different toilet, because that way I could have one that had some wooden accents, and I thought that looked a lot more interesting. Oh, and then I also remembered that I always like adding alarm clocks to bedside tables, so I got one and I made it pink so that I could have some more of that color. And in the bathroom, I also changed the mirror. I really like this one. I think that it is a pretty versatile item, and it's also pretty large, so that's always cool. It's a great way of filling in walls. And then I think I was just like getting random things like decorations or plants and that kind of item anywhere that I could. And here's when I got that table runner. And I was really glad to discover that you can also change the texture of the textile as well as the color of the fringe. And then I just got a mirror for the entryway. And that is it for this apartment. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked it. If you did, please leave a like on this video. That would really help my channel keep growing. I am super excited that we're now at 1,000 subscribers, and that really inspires me to keep making videos and building in both Paralives and The Sims. And if you had any suggestions of something that you would like to see me build in either or both of those games, I would really love to read about them in the comments. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!